My name is Padmaja Yashwant Samant. I am professor and head of Obstetrics and Gynaecology department at Seth GS Medical College and KEM Hospital. I have to admit that I am an accidental doctor, in the sense I never planned to come into, first of all, science, then medicine, and lastly even gynecology. It was parents who advised. At least in our time, we would never be telling parents, I want to do this. Whatever parents said, we had to sort of choose. Fortunately, in my field, now I have found the calling and now I enjoy it. Without doubt, I can say that my friend and guide has been Dr. Kamakshi Bhate, she's now retired as a professor in community medicine. She is the one who, though I have been in women's health, we have had a very little idea about how gender factor impacts women, and she is the one who introduced me to this concept of social determinants of health, and then my eyes opened to what the state of women's health in our society is. So, and she gave me the solutions also. She showed me the tools actually to address things which were in my hands. So let us say, if we categorize doctors into the younger ones, the trainees, and the ones who are set in their practice and career, etc., etc. Medicine is no more a service field. Medicine has become a sort of an industry. It has been like that for substantial amount of time. The challenges in front of the younger people are the competition, cutthroat competition which is there in medicine. The amount of hard work that they have to put in doesn't really reap benefits. Like in engineering, you see people benefiting from 3 to 5 years. They start getting their career avenues, etc. They start getting jobs. That doesn't happen in medicine. After MBBS, there is further education. So a medical doctor will settle, not even settle at the age of 30. So the competition, the uncertainty, the hard work which is there, and plus the morbid environment which is there in hospitals, etc., that must be taking a toll, and our students probably are not prepared for it because they do not know what they are getting into. They are very young when they get into, they are 17 barely. So this is about the younger doctors. Once we get desensitized ourselves, you all remember Munna Bhai MBBS. Doctors are taught to get desensitized, and once we get desensitized, it is the competition to earn. The competition to earn, to settle the certain evil practices like cut practice which is there outside, the challenges that we face even when we are in public health system, the lack of resources, the crowded setups, all these they really take, and plus the heavy work. This is what takes a toll on our day-to-day health, and most doctors don't really focus on their own health. Mental health, definitely, they don't have time to relax, and they feel good that they don't have time to relax. Oh, I am very busy, so I am great. This is my understanding. I have chosen a practice where I have time after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, my time is for myself. So this is what I feel is important for us, and the challenges of continuous work, and we see younger and younger people, our own colleagues, who are suffering from consequences of stresses. Oh, violence against doctors is that's a very serious issue which somehow we have not been able to address systemically. Now, what happens is the immediate reaction to violence, it causes more polarization of society. Violence occurs, that episode occurs. There is union of doctors and young students. Generally this violence is against younger lot because they are the frontline providers, and then their unions will go up in arms. On the other side, the patient side, and patient is always the distressed one. Nobody really lifts either a weapon or a hand at doctors without any reason. They have some reasons, but these reasons are generally not doctor centered, they are the system centered reasons. And what happens is doctor is the recipient of their wrath and their frustration and their anger with this. So that polarization occurs. There is more and more distrust when it comes into the media, etc., etc. We generally have short-term solutions. Long-term solutions are extremely difficult, and a lot of focus has to be given on learning communication skills and the cultural competencies that the doctors require to learn. We get doctors from all over. Earlier we used to have doctors only from the same college people used to go into post-graduation. Now that doesn't happen. With NEET and all that, people from all over the country will come to one place, and they are not aware of the culture here. So their language is different, culture is different, their way of talking is different, which may be misconstrued by a family as distant or rude sometimes, etc., etc. Also, they do not know, the doctors do not know how and what is a cultural practice of a particular group. So there is very, in a sense, distant and objective type of behavior sometimes, when you really require more compassion, more empathy and more communication, more easy and open communication. That doesn't happen. Though now there are training courses, etc., etc., on communication skills. The National Medical Commission has come out with modules on communication for students, but those are one-time solutions. There has to be continuous supervision and honing their skills, which sometimes doesn't happen. It's not a very positive experience. It's actually a, I wouldn't say sad, but something that opened my eyes to the reality of certain category of people, rather women, because I serve women. I used to work with an organization, an NGO called Prerna. They work with children of commercial sex workers. So I used to go and give my voluntary service to those children for their health and those women for their health. So there was this on the first day when I was new to that environment. A young girl in her early 20s came, and somehow she badly needed to sort of, vent her sorrow or her experience which she had lived through. And I don't know why she felt that she should open to me. And she started telling me how she was brought by her sister and brother-in-law and how she was exploited by brother-in-law before selling her off. This was so traumatic to hear, because we think families are protective, when this is the plight of certain migrants, etc., etc., in our society, and they are the type of life they are living, and we don't even know what sort of life they come from. And later on, in the same duration, when I was looking at one patient, she kept on, she was looking at me, and at the end of our communication about her problem, she asked me, "Doctor, you don't remember me?" So I said, "No, I don't remember you. Sorry, but will you tell me when we have met earlier?" And then when I looked at her name was very peculiar. It was a very different name. So I said, "Oh my God, she has been my patient." So how we do not know where the patients come from? How we do not know what sufferings the patients have? So these are some things that really opened my eyes, especially working with that organization. It changed my approach to my field. Success stories are with communication with younger adolescents, where they have their problems, and when we communicate with them and where we help them voice their problems to their parents, because there is a sort of lack of communication between adolescents and their parents. The biggest block is at that level. They may open up outside but not with their parents, and parents will not really discuss the problems with their young children. So that is where I have been very successful in bridging that gap. That is one thing. And second thing, I think if I have to look at one particular patient where the life turned around, is that we had a vegetative patient for a long time because of certain anesthetic problem, not here, where I used to work earlier. And she was practically written off by allopaths. And in that hospital, there was a homeopath also. And recalling what my mother's illness was and how a homeopath had helped us at that time, I offered the then senior and I asked him whether, sir, we could take help of homeopath in this. So he said, anyway, we have not been able to do much for her, you can take help. And the homeopath reversing her state of neurological condition, and she going home with some small residual deficit was something. Otherwise she would have been dead long before, because once they are vegetative, they have respiratory infections, this, that, and normally they would perish. But this woman went home, and it is just one example, but probably there is a scope for collaboration in different pathies. That is what I think may come in the near future. In healthcare and medical education. In healthcare, definitely the inroads that artificial intelligence has made and technology that has made. Everything is technology driven. We have better and better gadgets. We have very ultra fast and accurate diagnostics. So definitely that is there. And we all have to actually gear up and increase our own understanding of how these technologies are going to, how we are going to harness them, and how it's going to be helpful to our patients. So educating ourselves is one thing that we at this stage in healthcare system we will do. At the same time, this technology is not free of cost. Technology costs a lot of money. So what is going to happen at the same time is that this is going to probably create a divide where the lesser affording people, the important aspect is they all have to have benefit from this technology. If they do not have benefit from technology, we have not served our purpose. So that is the challenge which is there in front of us, which is going to occur. In medical education is, again, when artificial intelligence takes over, students have to use their human intelligence to bridge the gap between robotics and patients and use this technology to help patients. They have to learn a different skill set also. They have to be able to control technology rather than becoming slaves to technology. That is something very difficult for students to learn on their own and for us to teach them, because that's a watershed just now. At the same time, there is a push towards creating a globally competent Indian medical graduate. That's very important, very relevant, and kudos to National Medical Commission to think of globally competent Indian medical graduate. So there are a lot of changes that are already occurring in medical education, and which our medical education units are teaching teachers to offer that technology to the students, and that is going to change the way an Indian medical graduate has been all these years, and he or she will be able to compete on a global platform. As a quality, humility, and second quality, cultural competency. These are two extremely important, because the more the success, the more the knowledge, the more the admiration, the more the accolades, the more the prizes, what goes down is humility, and that doesn't work. When we are going to treat somebody, we have to actually be able to thank the patient for giving us an opportunity to treat her or him. If that doesn't happen, we have not served our purpose. We can't be at that level and treating the patient. We require to be actually thankful to the patient that she or he or the child, whoever, has given us an opportunity to practice our vocation. That's humility. And secondly, as I said earlier also, cultural competency. If we have to, world over people are, but their world is, Western world is slightly different because there is racial diversity. Here we don't have racial diversity, but huge cultural diversity. Unless we are culturally competent, we are not going to break the communication barrier, and we will be only giving medicines or only offering surgeries, and it really may not reach, we may not be really able to heal the patient. This is what I understand. This is something I really like to talk about, is because here we have quite some time ago, in 2016, we have started a division called Medical Humanities Division, which is only fourth in the country, fourth or fifth in the country, and where we cover numerous aspects of non-medical subjects which actually touch medicine and which actually impact medical practice. And that is it has a diverse and different way of teaching, and it's one of the most interesting things that I have. And as I said, once we get our calling, so this is one of my callings and one of my passions. So creating new courses for the same, and activities in medical humanities is something which is my passion. And hobbies, I think upscaling materials, waste products, etc., etc. This is something I really like. So doing ethnic painting on those, etc. So this is my hobby. But as I said, medical humanities, what I teach in that, or what courses we create in that, really help medical education and help medical practice. This is what I like to believe.